Now this is a Prezi presentation that I actually created to show in Peru to introduce myself to the students that were down there. So I'll go through it a little quicker than I did with them. But here's a map, and I wanted to explain the different places that I lived. Then I had a picture of Independence Hall and was going to explain about the beginning of our country. And these were homes in Philadelphia called Effers Alley. And here was a picture of City Hall with, on top of it, a William Penn. Now, then I go on to the different schools that I went to. This was a school outside of Philadelphia. It was actually a hotel in the 19th century, but then it was turned into a girls' boarding school. And this was the college that I went to. I lived in Maine. That's where I had my first teaching job, so it switches to the map. And then it shows how much snow is in Maine and the rocky coast of Maine and catching lobsters, which I thought the children of Peru wouldn't be familiar with lobsters. Then I moved to Manhattan, and I'll point out where Manhattan is, right there, New York City, and how small the island is. Basically, it was easy to walk across the island. You don't think about it. But the various aspects of New York City, the subway, the crosstown bus, and the school where I taught. Then I moved back to Philadelphia. Then I worked as an actuarial trainee. This was my favorite building in Philadelphia, the Art Museum. If any of you go to Philadelphia, you have to see that Art Museum. And I loved the medieval armor that was available there. This was the place where my husband and I were married. I decided to explain about that to the students in Peru because they actually go to a school that was founded by the Methodist Church. But it was called the Church That Moved the Bridge because a huge bridge from Philadelphia here over to New Jersey was built around 1920, and the plans were to tear down this building in order to make the foundation for the bridge. But since it was a colonial building, had been built in 1769. They appealed it, and the bridge was moved 16 inches. But the church had to agree to cut down the building and prop it up 2 stories below where the street originally went, which was across here. So it was an interesting story. You can see with these Prezi presentations, you can slow them down or speed them up as fast as you want. There's a picture of my children born in Tennessee. I taught for 10 years at Glencliff High School here in Nashville, and then of course came to Lipscomb. What I love the most: God, my husband, my family, my church family, and I love hiking. I love the trees and the fall. I love the river near my house in East Tennessee, Clear Fork River. It's just beautiful, and that's a frozen waterfall. There I am hiking on top of a ridge with 5 inches of snow. And as you all know, I love playing with computers. And I told them I loved going to Peru, and there were 2 teachers in Peru that had actually come to Lipscomb and visit. So that's a Prezi presentation.